This is Alia with Dance with Alia. I'm here with Frank.
Hello.
And you are from Colorado?
Yes, I'm from Colorado Springs.
And you're an amazing, amazing dancer.
Oh, thank you.
And you do tribal fusion. Is that what you call your
yes,
dance style?
The primary style that I do is definitely rooted in tribal fusion, but
Okay.
I really like to pull from the Middle Eastern folkloric roots for my dance style.
Okay, so did you start with that? Or did you start with ballet or modern?
Well, my very first venture into dance was actually with Polynesian dance.
Oh,
but as I
wow.
started getting into Middle Eastern dance, I started with Egyptian Folkloric dance, and then I got into more of the Oriental styles of cabaret from Egypt, Turkey, and Lebanon. And then later in life, I found tribal fusion.
Okay. Maybe that's why you have definitely more of a masculinity to your dance form. So when I see you, and that reminds me more of the Egyptian folkloric. Did you do that with a troupe, or you just took classes?
Yeah, mainly just taking classes. It took a while to kind of build up my confidence to perform with it. But I think the fact that most of my dance background is with ethnic and cultural dance, and they were very specific about the gender roles, I think that's what attributes to my masculinity and my dance style.
Yeah. Was that all in Colorado?
Yes.
What drew you to Egyptian folkloric dance?
Really just any style of dance that I liked as a child. If I found any type of interest in it, then my mom would just tell me to research it on my own. And then if it was enough to kind of spark my interest and stay with it for a while, then she would put me in classes. Mm-hmm. So because I was one of those kids where I was always interested in everything, so my mother never really knew which interest to nurture and how long it would last. So if I stuck with it for a while, then she would make sure that she would stay invested as well. So, but yeah, really just any style of dance. I mean, I don't come from a Middle Eastern background, so but the fact that it was a dance that represented a culture and it had a history behind it really interested me, because I've always been an academic as a child. So
yeah.
Anything I could research and do really solidified my interest in it.
What other things have you studied, whether it's art or academia?
Oh, so let's see, gymnastics. I did Irish clogging, lots of African dance, lots of Middle Eastern dance, Polynesian dance, lots of Latin dances.
When you say Polynesian, hula, I mean from Hawaii or from Tahiti or?
Hawaii, Tahiti, and Samoa.
Okay,
yes.
All of the above.
Yeah, and a little bit of the Cook Islands.
Okay, wow, that's nice. Yeah. And what other type of, you said you like to learn actually about the history of it.
Right.
What other academic type things have you studied?
So lots of world history, and world religions. And because a lot of times if it is a folk dance or if it's a celebratory dance, there might be some either meditative or religious history behind it, and then also just lots of ritualistic dances. So, well, not just ritualistic dances, but dances that may have a ritualistic connotation, because it seems almost a universal trend, I think, with a lot of these ancient folk dances, that there's a purpose for each dance. So whether it's a celebration for marriage or a birth or a death, or just intermingling with new tribes, so there always seems to be a history and a purpose behind it.
And do you carry that into your performances? Do you try to make a purpose behind your performance?
I think I definitely like to do that, because I think that's the cultural aspect of it, is that there's a reason for the dance, and that also translates to the artistic approach as well, because then you're telling a story. So, and then the story isn't conveyed properly if there isn't an intention behind it.
Yeah. So, have you performed already this weekend?
I've not. Well, I did do a group piece.
Yeah, with Sarah.
Right. Yeah. And then I do my solo tomorrow.
Okay. And is it going to be improv, or do you already have the choreography set out for it?
I have most of the choreography set out, but usually when I choreograph my pieces, I like to choreograph the intro, the exit, and then parts of the middle, just to make sure that I'm accenting the music properly.
Right.
But mainly I do like to leave some stuff open just for last minute changes, because a lot of times when I travel, I don't know what the venue looks like until I get there.
Yeah.
So I don't want to have something set from start to finish and realize I have to make these last minute changes.
Yeah.
But the biggest part for me is I don't like to choreograph it all from start to finish, because sometimes the energy of the audience is different. So I kind of like to feel them out and see how they're reacting to my performance, and then if they want more, I want to give them more, or if they're feeling really subtle, then I like to continue with the subtle mood. So really just it's nonverbal communication, I think, at its finest.
And how would you say your sexuality, or us as human beings, is involved with your dance?
Well,
Like dance as being very sensual, especially belly dance. You know, it's a very sensual art form.
And I think that's a big question that comes up, especially with belly dance, because so many people want to sexualize it, and I don't think that it necessarily needs to be sexualized. It's just a lot of times it's such a fine line between what is sexual and what is sensual. So I think that, you know, in the feminine aspect of it, yes, there's lots of feminine sensuality, and then there can be, you know, sort of the flirty temptress, and then there can be, you know, really coy and reserved, and then I think the same thing can happen with the male role aspect of that, with masculine sensuality, because there's, you know, the men who want to show off for women, and then they kind of want to, you know, I don't want to say play hard to get, but because ladies genuinely play hard to get, and then a lot of times men like to pretend that they have your attention, but they're trying to show that they're not that interested, and then so it's sort of a whole back and forth, back and forth. So it's like, are you watching? Oh, well, I'm not paying attention. Same thing with women, like, oh, are you watching? Well, I'm not interested.
Fun. Well, thank you so much for talking with me.
Oh, thank you.